My poor father watching this. You could probably be more productive as a creative if you're not using that energy thinking about a whole bunch of other stuff. But I just needed to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
That was a fight I was not willing to fight.
Yeah.
So I just got back into being a...
Sure.
Yes, there you go. There you go. I could relate to that intimately. I'm always by the mechanic.
I
Always.
don't think that's a good thing.
It's not a good thing. And I'm constantly being told that there's nothing wrong with the car.
Oh,
I'm like,
maybe you
something
need to
must be
go to a
wrong.
different mechanic.
I've been to several.
Oh,
I wonder if that's just how it is.
but it's just the feel of the car is what is turning you off.
I think I maybe need to talk to somebody who has the same car as me. I could probably talk to Dylan.
Dylan.
Dylan has a Jimny.
Oh, I know somebody with a Jimny, but it's an older one. So I don't think it would really help.
I need answers.
Okay, well, I can ask questions.
Yes.
Today we're blessed with a creative powerhouse.
Me? Wait, you started?
Yeah, so we started.
Okay,
We've
very
been
nice.
started.
Oh, I
been
didn't know
started.
that. Okay.
I'm trying to do these intros now. I'm an intro boy.
Proceed.
Today we're sitting down with a creative powerhouse who's redefining what it means to be a Caribbean storyteller in the world of fashion and visual art. We have Safia Elena. I almost said
Elena?
no, Ali.
Yeah, that's my last
Yeah,
name. So
I
safe
know.
either way.
But I think about your name, Safia Elena.
Yeah.
I never think about Ali, so that's why I was like,
My poor father watching this.
sorry that she did not disown
No
you.
one ever thinks about the alley. Yeah.
So sad. Does it feel like in a way that you don't use your last name?
No, he gave me my first name.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Was
my
he
middle
at-
name is from my mom. So balance.
Gotcha.
Nobody can get vexed.
just to kind of jump into things, was he at the blank space?
He actually was.
Was he the one giving out the drink?
He actually was.
making
That
sure.
was my dad.
Okay.
Yes.
For people that don't know, could you explain what blank space is?
Okay, so a blank space is a networking event for creatives. And I say networking event with kind of a caveat because I find that sounds a bit like rigid and not really true to, well, one, the spirit of what we do in Trinidad, which is lineman, and two, something that feels less intimidating for people like creatives who, from my interactions with people, tend to be like surprisingly more on the introverted side.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think creatives are very like extroverted.
No, I like to be home. I like to be to
people.
myself.
Yeah, but most creatives I know are actually introverts.
Yeah. It's like we have things to say, but we just come outside to say our things and then go back in.
Exactly.
Hey guys, I posted something on Instagram. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go and sleep now.
Not even that long. You post.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Job done.
Share
Job
to
done.
story.
Here's the thing that I worked on.
Okay, man.
Yes. You see me, but you don't.
Yeah.
So the idea was kind of to create a space for creatives to kind of come together, connect with each other. I believe that there's a lot of ways that we could support each other in actually evolving and building the community and the ecosystem. But it's not going to happen if we don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
So the idea was to just have a space, a blank space, that could be anything to any one of us. So you could come there with any intention that you want. You could come to Lime after work and meet your people. You could come because you want to meet somebody in particular. You could come because maybe, you just want to make new friends, want to find people that have common interests as you. But really, I think it's important to build the community because we could all support each other. We can all advocate for each other. Who better to understand what a creative needs than a creative?
Yeah.
And it doesn't just go for, people think of creatives as always like the artsy types that are like solo entrepreneurs and fighting the good fight. But there are lots of corporate creatives as well. And I want this space to be a space for everybody.
Yeah.
because those are the people that could really also bring people into spaces that they might not be able to otherwise get into or might be challenging for them to get into. So yeah, it's a space for everybody to connect.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
and for people that don't know you,
Mm-hmm.
you're a creative and fashion consultant,
Yes.
stylist. I know you're trying to.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
still a
yeah.
stylist, but I spend most of my time now doing consulting.
Yeah.
So working with creatives, I work with people predominantly in the fashion industry, but I also have a couple of clients that are in the music industry, and I work for, well, one big client in the carnival industry as well.
Gotcha.
Yes, so it kind of, it's all kind of things
Yeah.
we just be doing.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you're also a medical rep, which
Yes.
do you talk about that a lot or no?
No, I don't.
Because I told somebody it, and then they're like, "No, she's a stylist," and I'm like, "No, yes, but she also does this," and they're like,
Yeah.
"I don't think so. I think you're wrong," and I'm like,
Trust me.
"She spoke to me like 2 weeks ago." So, and I'm like, you know what? She's a stylist.
Mhm.
Sure, let's just go with that.
Yeah. A lot of people think that, but I actually do have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I tried to do the full-time creative thing a couple of years ago because I think at that point I just really needed to know if I could do it. And I just wanted to give it my all and try it.
Yeah.
But I think my personality type is just not built for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a sense of security at all times.
Right.
And I was truly not able with the like fluid payment system
It's like you might
that
get paid
exists
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this week
creatives.
or
Yeah.
next week.
Exactly.
It feels like I spoke to somebody,
Exactly.
and they're like, "Yeah, I ain't get paid since last year," and I'm like,
Yes.
April.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I kind of quickly realized that that was not really for me
Yeah.
because I need to know. I need
Yeah.
to know. I'm a planner. I have a long brain. I like to
Yeah.
be organized.
Mhm.
So not knowing is not an option for me.
I understand.
But I did have to give it a shot. And I think if that was not a factor, I could have done it and been happy. But I just needed to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
That was a fight I was not willing to fight.
Yeah.
So I just got back into being a med rep, which I also love. And a lot of people don't know this, but
Mhm.
a lot of skills that I learned through that job actually helped me a lot with the jobs that I
Right.
do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see, like, well, not I see, but does it, what, I want to raise this question. What is the steps you would have taken to becoming a consultant? Because I feel like you can't really just start because everybody's like, I don't know you from a can of paint.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to trust you?
Yeah.
I mean, you look like you're dressed good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
styling like 20 people.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
How do you develop that portfolio of trust? Well, to then get trust to
Yeah.
do it.
I hear you. I think it could be difficult to go about doing that.
Yeah.
And it's actually a question that people ask me all the time.
Right.
Like, how did you get into styling? Or how did you get into like doing what it is? And a lot of people don't really understand what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because consultant is such a vague word
Yeah.
as well.
Like advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a sounding board. A strategic, knowledgeable sounding board.
Yeah.
But essentially, how I got into it was that I just, cliche, I followed my heart, but I always wanted to work in fashion.
Mhm.
Always knew that I wanted to from a very young age, but
Right.
like I was very scared to do it. I think my fear kind of got in the way, and I ended up taking a more traditional route. I went to med school. That I liked it because I'm a nerd. Like I really enjoyed learning about it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just knew that it was not for me. So when I left med school in Grenada, I started to design costumes for Carnival over there.
Okay.
I did that for a few years. I started working in a boutique in Grenada, and I got to meet some really cool people. At the time, I thought that fashion was like very simple and one-dimensional. I
Yeah.
hadn't spent time investigating it as yet. I thought that if you're going to be in fashion,
Yeah.
you could be a stylist or a designer or
Yeah.
a creative director, but I didn't know that they had so many possibilities. So I started to learn about being a buyer, doing visual merchandising, doing fashion marketing. And that's where my mind kind of started to run wild and understand that there's so many things that I could be. So when I came back home to Trinidad, that point in time, I really was leaning into styling as a way to kind of express myself and I guess discover this new side of me through the clothes. And I really just started by creating stuff. So my bestie Elena and we would just go and get dressed, style ourselves, and just go out there and take pictures. She's an amazing photographer. So I would style myself, style her. We would take pictures and post it on Instagram. And that's really how I started. I just took the leap to start posting things and then, sharing it to my personal account. My friends started following me, and then designers started following me. I started to get, calls from designers like, could you work on this with me? Could you style this? And it just evolved from there. So from doing styling work, I got into marketing. I actually did my master's in fashion as well. So I have a master's in the business of fashion. And that kind of makes me feel a little bit confident about saying that I'm a fashion consultant.
It's like, I have the paper to prove it.
Because you know what? I do think
Where did
that
you study
before that,
the business of fashion?
I studied it. Well, at the time I was doing it, COVID was happening. So I did it online. But I did it at a college called LIM College, which is based in New York. And they're a fashion business university.
Gotcha.
So their program is pretty excellent. And like people always ask me about it. I wish that more people would look into it because I feel like we need more people with that kind of skill set and knowledge base. Because we have good designers already. Like nobody needs to tell them how to make clothes. Nobody needs to tell them how to design things. But when it comes to taking what it is they're creating and transforming it into a sustainable business, that's where there's a gap. Yeah. And I would just love if people could just do what they love. So
have your parents always been supportive of it? Because I feel like a lot of parents are like, doctor, engineer,
I feel like it's
lawyer.
That's the Caribbean story.
Like, don't tell me nothing about anything in between. We talking about photography. How you eating?
No, I feel like photographers are
bread
easier
and
to sell than a stylist,
cheese.
you know?
No,
it's
like,
I feel like a photographer is even easier to sell than what you do. It's like, I know how to dress. You mean people want to pay you to tell them how to dress?
Yeah. I mean, at the time, I think it was confusing. I don't think it was like me wanting to do that. I think it was the shock of me being like,
it's like you went med school.
Busting out of medical school.
Like,
everyone was like, what happened? Because I liked it and I was good at it. So I don't think anybody was expecting that.
Oh,
I
not like
genuinely
you're like failing, you're coming to
enjoyed.
school like...
Yes.
And it's like cool. And I'm like,
this
so...
sad.
Yes.
Heady scenes that. You know that med school degree
Yeah.
that you pay for? Well, I don't know if they paid for it. But,
Well, I certainly hope so.
It's like, you know that med school that I was attending? It was cool and all. But I go and chill across here and work on some stuff.
That's exactly how it went down. Pretty much. No, a little sprinkle of stuff.
Right.
But it was okay. I mean, I don't think my parents didn't support what I wanted to do. I just think, as any parent would, they were probably concerned when I said I'm not gonna do this anymore. Because if you think about the time that is invested into that, and like you said, money and everything, and also you just walking around telling people I'm gonna be a doctor, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
what
now?
And then
exactly.
Safi going,
exactly.
she's a consultant. What?
Yeah.
So like a medical consultant?
Like a medical?
Yeah, medical consultant. No.
But
yeah. So I think,
tell me about
but as time passed, they kind of, and they really saw like my talent starting to flourish, and like people in the community kind of accepting me and me being able to actually work. I mean, never mind is literally like a cricks and cheese kind of thing, especially when you're now starting. They were very supportive. I think my my parents, I'm very fortunate to have parents that love me very much. And my expression and my discovery as a person is important to them. They just want me to be happy.
Yeah.
I'm older now, so I could see things that way. But when you're younger, you don't get
Yeah.
it. So
I think
yeah.
I experienced the duality of that where my dad is an engineer.
Oh,
Yeah.
say less.
So they're like, you want to have a good job,
Yes.
but also, you should do what makes you happy, but you really should get a good job.
Yeah.
You really should get a good job. And my mom is like, well, if you once a night any illegal activity, live your
Go
life.
for it.
Live your life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
that's
know like deep down my dad is like, do what you like, but you want to get a good job.
Yeah, exactly. I think at the end of the day, our parents just want us to be okay.
Yeah.
Which you can't really be mad at them for.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You can.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about. I don't know. I feel like I hear a lot about work for yourself and basically invest in yourself and be about a grind. And I feel like it's very refreshing to just be like for you to say, sometimes you just want a security in your life and you just
do it.
You really don't want a headache and
No.
you could have a full-time job and you could have. Because people, yes, I work in the studio, but people are like, I see your way shooting, and I'm like, no, sometimes I just scratching.
Yeah.
I was like, I have a full-time job, guys. I don't know why y'all think I'm taking pictures every day. If a photographer is taking pictures every single day, something I think, yes, it's good, but there's also something wrong about that because you should also get your rest days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the truth is, balance looks different for everybody. So, like for me, I know that balance for me means being able to be creative and express that side of myself and feel secure. Because where a lot of creatives actually get stuck, again, this is through me just talking to people, is when they start to focus so much on making money that it takes away
from the craft.
Exactly. They either become creatively blocked because you're no longer thinking about like your energy that's supposed to be going into the conceptual process of what you're doing is now going into how do I make this make financial sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't, harmonize with a lot of people. And I think that a lot of people feel like they have to walk through the mud with like these big boots and like just struggle, like they have to hop on board the struggle bus. But I would say if you don't have to, then just don't. Yeah.
Everybody want to get out of the ground, and I'm like,
if somebody reach a hand for me,
taking it.
Yeah.
I taking it.
Yeah.
I go and say, I am here because of X, Y, and Z or whatever. I am not trying to really want to
exactly. I mean, if you want to, by all means. But if you don't have to, and it bothers you, then just level it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I think people feel bad about it. They feel like they have to pay their dues. But as a matter of fact, you could probably be more productive as a creative if you're not using that energy thinking about a whole bunch of other stuff. Like when I was doing the creative stuff full time, I had like this long list of things that I wanted to do for Safia Elena, like real long. And I was like, yeah, I'm a full-time creative. I'm finally going to be able to do these things.
They want it.
Not a thing was done, right? Because I was so worried about money all the time that I was just like prioritizing like developing other people's brands and doing projects for other people and not doing my own things that really make me happy. So I was like grateful and happy because I was doing it full time, but I was feeling not good about myself because the things that were really important to me were the things that were just not happening. And then now I've been doing my full-time job for like a little over a year. I've scratched so many things off the list with less time. Like, just because you have more time doesn't mean that you'll get more
Well
done.
Yeah.
It's really how you feel about yourself, your confidence, your energy level,
Yeah.
Yeah.
things like that. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I think I can understand. I can relate to. So I do photography as a hobby. I am a hobbyist. I'm not gonna say I am a photographer,
Right.
but I don't lean into wanting to make an income off of it
Mm,
because I feel as though once it starts to become a job, I ain't gonna feel to pick up a
yeah.
camera. I'm like,
Yeah.
and or I feel like my editing would then become less of a how can I make this more efficient, and I know that I would become lazy. I know I can become real lazy when it comes to my editing. That auto tool will then get smacked.
Used and
I'm
abused.
not even gonna lie.
No, but you don't put on a base editor to then use the auto tool.
Man,
So,
something will happen.
nah,
You're
it's
like,
really,
I'm
auto
just gonna keep
tool.
it's
this
really a
right
mental block.
there.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
That mental block is really like, I still have to show up because it's due tomorrow. And
Exactly.
you're like,
Obligations.
yeah, sometimes it hits your heart.
Obligations.
Yeah, no, I'll leave that for my day job.
Mhm.
I'll do that. But
So
like,
you're a
and that
corporate
way-
creative too?
no, I am an engineer.
Which I guess is corporate as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
well,
that's
like,
pretty.
yeah.
That's pretty corporate.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
I'll
You
leave that
know.
to the deadlines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
He is his client, basically, when it comes to photography.
I
yeah.
love that for you.
Yeah, I posted on Instagram. I don't remember when. And
You posted like some days ago, no?
yeah, I don't remember when. But before that,
Okay.
I don't know what was it that I posted before that. Because it was like I did some traveling at the beginning of the year and I was like, oh, I have these pictures sitting down here from on my camera. I'll edit them
Mm-hmm.
and I'll share them with you. See you all next quarter.
Yeah. I actually really miss like the no pressure
Yeah.
Instagram days. I
Mhm.
find now it's like,
Yeah.
And I know
Like,
even
you show up, you have to show up.
oh
I know
God,
even
boy.
look
You gotta be better than your last.
So I don't know how much likes to get. I don't know. All I know is I post it. I feel my phone vibrate for like
Yeah.
a day.
I like it's.
Nah,
I
it's really,
always
it's
tell
a blessing and a
people, like,
curse. Because
yes.
you get that instant, like,
Boost.
what shoot was it? Yeah, that shoot I did with, I think it's Renell. We
Mhm.
posted.
Oh yeah, you
The
told me. And you
amount
were
of
like,
comments, we
you're
were
replying
there.
there.
I replied to everything.
Oh
And
my
then at the time you post
God.
after, it's like,
I
you
do
sure I
this
posted
again.
to me? Did it say posted? I saw it on my timeline, but is anybody seeing it?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't like, I don't know. Maybe
The
I posted it at a
algorithm.
bad,
They
yeah,
did something with the
did.
I
algorithm.
posted it at a bad time. That's what
Yeah.
it was.
Listen,
Oh, yeah.
let me tell you something, right? I give up officially. You see this thing about good times, bad times?
Yeah.
There's no time anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you know what Instagram is really doing? Those fellas playing games because
Yeah.
nothing makes sense anymore. They want you to post. I find the more I post now, the less visibility I'm getting. I'm like, why are you punishing me? Isn't this what you wanted? What do you want
Yeah,
from me?
yeah.
And I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was like, quality content. And I'm like, what are you trying to say?
It's like,
I feel so attacked.
Your work sucks. Get
I
it together.
think it's quality.
So it sucks to get it together.
Quality, not quantity, Safia. Get it together. Yeah, attacked by AI. And so it begins. People think it's like the whole robot revolution. No. It starts here.
Self-inflicted pain too.
Passive aggressive.
You end up on your own trying to ask for good advice.
I'm telling
Quality over
you.
quantity.
We all just trying to make it out here.
Talking to.
Yes.
I break you down into no zeros and no ones, you know.
I'm in shambles.
I keep my Instagram, like, I post whenever on Instagram. And then anything video, like TikToks or IG Reels.
Mm-hmm.
1 o'clock in the morning when nobody would see it. Because my idea is that I don't want anybody to immediately see it. And I have 8 hours of peace.
Oh gosh.
And if anybody hates it, I'll find out in the morning. I don't want to find out right now.
See, I might not be able to sleep
Oh,
You wake up and you just see all the notifications. Oh, this is terrible.
Mhm.
Definitely miss. It's like, well, this
No.
will win my day.
then I start off my day bad then.
Oh God, that's what it is.
Nah, God.
I come to the studio and I see it like this.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to
you
like
okay?
depart
They
from
hate
that
my post?
because I feel like the right people will see it and the right people will appreciate it.
Right.
And I like that's what you learn too in working with like brands and working with designers and stuff. Everybody feels like they have to cater to everybody.
Yeah.
So when it's not accepted by everybody, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But everybody is not paying your bills. It's actually just like a handful of people that really love what it is you're doing. Those are the people. It's not about quantity. It's about like loyalty. It's about you're my favorite brand. It's about I really love what you do.
Mm.
So even something like that could be likened to it. Like you don't need a million people to like your picture. Just the
It'll be
people
nice,
that
though.
count. It would be
It'll be
real
nice.
nice. That
Yeah.
dopamine, that serotonin, that be real best.
Yeah.
However,
Just one time. I just want to experience that.
however, what does that even equate to? You know who I want to like my pictures? The people that will look at what I'm doing and be like, you know what, she's onto something. Like I really want to invest in one of her events.
Yeah.
Or look at this really cool project that she did with this brand. Like I've never seen this brand before. Like maybe I could work with them on something. Like that's the people that I hope see my work and the people that want to connect with it, the people that believe in what I'm doing and believe in my community. Everybody else, thanks. Mucho appreciated for the support. The numbers certainly do look good
Yeah.
when you submit the proposal.
Mhm.
And for your confidence.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
quality over quantity, as Chat GPT so aptly put it.
Yeah.
Transitioning.
Trivia
into-
question. Oh,
Go
sorry.
on, go ahead. Ask your trivia.
What is the significance of July 16th, 2014?
Oh my God,
For
July
100 points.
16, 2014.
For 100 points.
What was I even doing? How old was I? I was a young lass.
I don't want to know.
I have no idea. July?
Trying to take a guess. Yeah, July 16,
I don't know.
2014.
I
You have one
don't.
guess. Yeah, you can't say you don't know.
I mean, my memory is real bad. I don't even remember what I wore to work yesterday. We might be here for a while. Give me a hint. Something small. Anything, please.
What's mountains? I don't know.
Mountains?
Yeah, mountains.
Mountains?
Yeah,
Sus probably lives in the mountains. You
mountains.
don't know.
Oh God.
There was mountains in the background, I think.
Okay, so it's a picture. So what am I wearing in the picture? Let me
I just
challenge
said, what is
myself
the
here.
significance? You could be.
The significance of mountains.
Okay, great. That was his first Instagram post.
When on Safia Elena?
Yes, I think.
What?
Let me double check.
2014, boy. That was so long ago.
Let me double check.
Ways, boy.
But you were behind a surfboard almost, and there was
Might that be my personal page?
sorry, the Safi bird. Why did I say Safia Elena?
No, I said that.
Okay.
So that might have been my bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was honestly, I was gonna compile a list of looks that you had, and I was gonna start from the beginning. And then I just saw the one picture and I saw the date. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that I'm back so far.
That's
and then that
like
was it. That
full
was
time
just-
days. I think I was still in secondary school. I think.
Yeah, that's why you said how old was
don't-
I? I was like, I don't want to know. I just was
I-
talking about the date.
My brain was like
Date on the first
25
Instagram post.
minus 14. We could do this, Safia. Probably should not have said that. But we have an
So,
engineer here.
No.
The maths brain.
I'm trying to see if I can get go back, but
Talking about events,
Mm-hmm.
tell us about the brand therapy webinar
Okay, so
for the peoples.
yeah,
Hello.
hi peoples. So I'm starting a educational thing that I'm calling brand therapy. I cannot take the full credit for that name because the people that came to my last workshop actually told me that I'm like a therapist for brands.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, oh my God, you're a brand therapist. You should call this brand therapy. And I was like, yes. Oh yeah, I remember that day. That was a cool day.
Honestly, I just saw the dates and I forgot about everything. I just remember that they had mountains in the background.
I would have never guessed that. Never. I promise you. I
I hope I
promise
brought
you.
back a memory there.
Yeah, you did
Today was
actually.
amazing. Surf day. # surfboard.
And it was the flattest day ever. No waves
no
were caught.
waves.
Listen, let me tell you something. It feels bigger than it is when you're out there. Trust me, okay? Like these fellas on these big waves, they probably, I don't know how they do it. I truly don't. Because when I'm like on the small ones, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
It's like I'm about to break a
fearful
hip
of
if
my
I fall.
life. And I'm a good swimmer, but I just be like, oh my God, is this how I go?
Yeah.
Panicking the whole time. Yes.
What were you saying about
Being a therapist for brands.
Yes, that's what I've been called. So I'm taking ownership of that. I kind of dig it, and it feels very true to what I actually do. Like I said, I'm like a sounding board for people. Because a lot of the times people just need direction, or they need like validation or clarity on their ideas. But people have good ideas. They just need someone to listen. But the webinar that I'm doing is going to be on the 26th of April. I'm very excited about it because it's about storytelling. And I feel like it's something that a lot of brands take for granted. Or they think about it as like a very one-dimensional thing, Like they think about it very literally. So how you're writing your captions but that's not all that storytelling is about.
Right.
Like everything about your brand says something about your brand.
Yeah.
From the logo that you choose, to your color palette, to the fonts that you choose, to how you choose to post your pictures on Instagram, to the graphic templates that you use, the composition of your images, like everything says something, how you style your clothes on your models. Everything is an opportunity to tell your brand story. So the purpose of the workshop is to kind of teach people the importance of it, first of all, the fact that every single thing that you do, everything that you put out there is an opportunity for someone to connect with your brand and connect with what you're building and what you're creating. So everything that you do should be done with purpose. And it should be done with your story and your intention in the background. So that's what I want to teach you. I'm very excited about it because we have real creative people here. Everybody has a story already.
Yeah.
A lot of creatives, like when you hear the reasons why they start their brands or they get into what it is they're doing, it's so inspiring. So how do you take that story and put it out there in the world and turn it into something that people could connect with enough to want to engage you on a professional level and hire you and work with you?
And this is just any brand.
Yeah,
It doesn't
anybody
have to
could
be
participate.
Clothing or anything. Okay.
No.
Gotcha.
It's a one size fits all. Like anybody could join. I welcome all points of view. And I actually think that that's when people benefit the most.
Yeah.
Like having a room full of fashion designers talking about that, there will be benefits to it. But to have, let's say, like an engineer in the room with an alternate perspective could actually bring up a lot of unique ideas that someone that lives a different reality might not think of.
Right.
That stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'm into that.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. The more diverse, the merrier, I suppose.
And is this where you introduce the pay what you feel?
Yeah,
Yes.
man. Gotta make something feel what you're feeling.
Yes.
Just check the price on the feel what you feel. But yeah.
Yes. There's a purpose for all of this. I find a lot of people, I actually have done a couple surveys. I did one in my story, and I actually did an actual survey because I wanted to find out from the people in the community what are some of the things that they have the most trouble with, like the biggest challenges, but also what the biggest barriers are they feel to their success.
Right.
And of course, one of the number one things was cost. Like a lot of creatives and fashion designers want to get professional help, but in addition to not knowing where to go or who to ask,
Yeah.
they're really worried about the price of things,
Yeah.
which
And some
is
people don't want to
valid.
barter as
Exactly, because as a
well.
creative,
Back in the day, that's what they used to get. Anything?
yeah, that's
You neighbor
true.
need 5 eggs.
Yeah,
Well, I want some milk and you have a goat there.
yeah,
I'll drink that.
yeah. That's how it works. But I think people are very intimidated. So a lot of the times, instead of even asking, you don't even ask. You don't even put it out there, and you just end up in this static kind of space.
Right.
So the purpose of the Pay Where You Feel initiative is to allow people to have flexibility and control over, the things that they want to invest in for their brand and their business. Right now, it applies to like the educational offerings only, because I think that that's the most sustainable way to do it. Like if you are able to like share your knowledge with somebody, that is way more empowering, I think, than just doing the work for them.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where I felt like it could really add the most value. So I wanted to do it for my webinars, do it for my workshops. Like when I have my summit later this year, I want to do it for that too, because I really don't want cost to be an obstacle as to why you can't learn more and why you can't do what it is you love to do, or why you can't take your brand to the next step.
Right.
There is a minimum fee. So it's not a bed of roses, but there's a purpose to that too. And the purpose is that everything has a value.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
But you could always pay it forward.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a pay it forward component too, which I actually got the idea from one of my clients, Eleanor, who is Bali Whispers, if anybody wants to check out. She makes amazing clothing. But the idea is that there's a minimum fee. There's a suggested fee, which is based on like market value. It's based on whatever work goes into it.
Yeah.
And then you run the calculations. How many people are you expecting? Blah, blah, blah. But then there's also a pay it forward fee.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you can actually pay extra if you want, if you believe that the service is either worth extra, or if you want to support like covering the cost for somebody else to be able to participate.
Right.
So far, like the majority of the people that sign up actually paid it forward.
Oh, weird.
So yeah, but that just goes to show, right?
Yeah.
Like people would think that if you offer like a minimum price, that everybody would pay
Everybody
the
gonna skip.
minimum.
Yeah.
Nobody has paid the minimum.
Yeah.
That to me that shows me how valuable these services are to the community. And I am so happy to see that. Although I would be totally fine if people paid the minimum too, because I really just hope that it could do something for people. What people don't understand is that it really is an ecosystem. I am a fashion consultant. Nobody is gonna hire me. I'm not gonna be able to do what I love to do if people don't see the value in what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
You have to be able to want to give a little in order to receive a little. Like if I say to myself, well, I have a master's degree in the business of fashion. So if I'm gonna do a marketing strategy for you, you gotta pay $6,000 for this. Like, I know my people.
Yeah.
I know my designers. Like, who is gonna really see the value in that in terms of not that they don't think it's worth that, but can I afford this in terms of, one, do I have this money on the back burner that I could pay for this? But not just that, am I actually gonna get the return on investment? Because I'm selling clothes in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And there's a limited market, and there's this and there's that. Like you have to be flexible. So I try not to think like that. I really want to be accessible to my community, because if I'm able to do what I love and that is truly all I want, like I really just want to wake up every day and do what I love to do, that would be amazing. But in order for me to be able to do that, then fashion designers and creatives also need to be able to do what they love to do.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of this whole initiative. I could give you my knowledge. You could take your brand from step 1 to step 2 with it, and you're further. That actually like benefits you. It benefits other designers because you're setting an example for people to follow, and it could benefit people like me. And other creative marketing professionals as well, or creative consultants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess more in the consulting. Could you give a little deeper explanation of what that looks like for you, like on a day-to-day?
Okay.
Well, I can't say on a day-to-day because you still have work.
Yes, to my boss, if you're watching this. Well, I actually pretty much do creative stuff every day.
Yeah.
Like when I finish
Because you
work.
do fashion brands, musicians. So let's say
Carnival.
What do you get the most? I guess for right
Fulfillment
now,
out of, or what
like
you mean,
categories of
fashion
consulting.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
guess we
I've
could go more in
established
that.
myself as a fashion girly with
Yeah.
the styling and whatnot. So, and to be honest, that's my area of expertise.
Yeah.
So that's what I really love to do. I love working with fashion designers. And it really varies. Like the scope of work is so, scope of work. Oh yeah, I guess. But the things that I do is just, there's such variety in it. I could really pretty much do anything. So the other day I posted a picture with some of Mei Ling's clothing from her last collection, Unfurled. That was a really cool project. I helped her to produce the print for the collection, her first signature print. And I didn't design it, nothing like that. But I took up more of like a project management role, for example.
Yeah.
So
what does it mean?
finding a supplier,
Gotcha.
helping her liaise with the graphic designer, like making creative decisions about the print too. So like a sounding board. So for example, do you prefer it in this scale or this scale? And us just being able to bounce ideas off of each other.
Right.
Yeah, and it ended up being a really beautiful collaboration that I'm super proud of. And that's like I would have never thought that somebody would have asked me to help them do that.
Yeah.
So there's that. I do a lot of marketing strategies, but more so like launch strategies. I would say that's been majority of my consulting work right now. So if a designer is launching a collection or launching a new product, they might reach out to me and say like, I really want to work with you because I really want it to be impactful.
Yeah.
And I would help them map out what that would look like. So pre-launch and everything from not just marketing, but simple things like even challenges that they have with production and mapping out what collection items do I produce first? How should I drop the items? All of that, the communication strategies surrounding it. All of that I do. I've done several brand strategies as well, which is different from marketing strategies.
Yeah.
A brand strategy is like basically the story of your brand. It is all of the intangible things that make your brand your brand. So your mission, your purpose, your values, your communication style, your voice. A lot of people don't take the time to do that, but I always recommend that creatives do it for their brands and anyone with a business because it makes your life so easy. People have problems making decisions on behalf of their brands, and it's because they themselves have a lack of clarity as to what their brand is and what their brand is trying to say.
Yeah.
So creating a brand strategy, like when you do that,
life is easier.
Ooh, real easy. Real easy. Real easy. But that's like been what I've been doing the most, but I really enjoy like consumer psychology. I consider myself somewhat of an empath. I'm a very emotional gal,
Okay.
but I kind of lean into it for work because I think, when you're getting into brands make people feel things. So I think you have to understand how people think. You have to understand like how you want them to feel and how they do feel in order to really make the most of whatever it is that you're offering. So love consumer psychology, love marketing, love storytelling, and I also kind of nerd out on like technology use in
Yeah.
fashion, like AI, AR,
Yeah.
Web3 stuff,
I was gonna say you're talking about being an empath and
Yeah. Did
I
I
was just thinking
strike
like
a chord?
no. I was thinking like having a voice is good as a brand.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more thinking like in the clothing space.
Yeah.
If I like your design, I like your design. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Right? Whatever.
Yeah.
You talk about sustainability and all
Mm-hmm.
these other things.
It look good.
Bro, I like the
take it.
jersey. That was it.
Right.
But that's just me as a buyer. I don't
That's
know
a
if I
fair
know
point
anybody that's
too.
like, oh, I love that they're so about this thing that's why I'm gonna invest in this brand. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. There's
I'm like,
something for everybody.
I know people are really thinking about it, like
Being green.
yourself and
Yeah.
other people in the brand. They're like, we want people to feel like this. And
Yes.
I'm like, I just like the shirts.
But then all it is a shirt. And all that person gets from you is you buying that one shirt.
Sometimes,
But
yeah.
if you go like Ways boy, like, why I really like this shirt? Because this brand took the time to collaborate with this local photographer and turn his most iconic photographs into wearable works of art. And as a photographer, I really respect that and I really like them. So then you buy one shirt, and then when the next set comes out, you buy another one, and you buy another one and another one. So that's where the back end side of things comes into play and the emotions and the connecting with people.
Yeah.
But I totally feel you because I also will like
Yeah.
see a hot girl tag and be like, well, that has my name written all over it and buy it. But every consumer is different. That might be one brand, but you might really connect with another one unexpectedly because of something. Like I said,
Yeah.
because you're a photographer and
Yeah.
they put your friends' work on a t-shirts,
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's a good point. It's a
Yeah.
good, and the thing is, a lot of people think like that, but there's really something out there for everybody, and people connect with people. Yes, they connect with objects, but in the case of like business and building a sustainable brand, ChatGPT is wrong. A lot of the times, it's quality over quantity. I mean, at least in this market, because we don't have the capabilities to like mass produce things. So what really makes a difference here when it's like so small and everything is so niche is how you distinguish yourself from somebody else. Like what makes you special. And I think now because everybody's on social media and we were talking about Instagram before, people have an expectation that, your brand is going to be more than just pictures of clothes on your page.
Yeah.
They want to see the person behind the brand. They want to know like how you make your things. Like it's not what it used to be. And I think like smaller brands, local brands have a lot more weight on their shoulders where that is concerned. It is a lot harder for them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think people just want to have a connection to the things that they're following.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure, I follow the celebrity, but if they're posting on this story all the time, I feel like that's my friend. I feel like I can walk up to you and tell you,
Exactly.
although you don't know this person.
Could you solve this? I just
Yes,
saw the
of
deep red and
course.
I got worried.
Oh my God. The button. You see how it crept over? Is it on?
Yeah, it should be on it. I
It
just
automatically comes on.
I just went turned around and I was like, oh, this is a first.
Yeah, I think people nowadays are just looking for that. I don't want to say connection, but
Mhm.
to feel like they
Yeah.
have a personal connection with whoever it is that
Mm-hmm.
they follow in,
Yes.
although
I
they
think
don't.
TikTok has accelerated that like
Yes.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, and they want to have an opinion on
Yeah.
what it is, or at least feel as though
Mm-hmm.
their opinions are being heard.
Exactly.
Even though you could just be talking over what you're not gonna actually do it, but
Exactly.
it's like, you like that color shirt and all right, I like it too.
Yeah.
A lot of the
I don't
times
really care
it's
for it.
unintentional as well.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I just randomly discovered people and now, they're my favorite brands.
Yeah.
You don't really set out to do it, but it just happens because we are people. And I make that distinguishment all the time. Like, not all businesses are brands. Businesses are transactional. It's about the bottom line, it's about the dollars and cents. They're about pumping out like 10, however many thousand white t-shirts a day, and they don't really care. They're prioritizing
Maximize profit
quantity,
margins.
they don't really care. But where was I going with this? Scream. Yes, brands are special because brands connect with people.
Yeah, there's an identity.
Yeah,
behind it.
there's an identity because
Yeah.
there's a person. A person with a purpose and a person with a vision and a person with a dream.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it special. And I really enjoy helping people to extract and find the magic in their brands. That's what gets people. Having something that's nice is a plus.
Yeah.
But man, when you find one person, just one person that connects to what it is you're actually doing, that person is gonna come back again and again and again and again. They're not just gonna buy the white t-shirt and be like, well, where's boy, I could get a white t-shirt anyway.
Yeah, but it's not this white t-shirt.
Yeah. And loyalty builds sustainability. That's the foundation of having a sustainable business and sustainable brand. Hello. Having a loyal
I was gonna ask
people.
how do you feel about vintage brands, like the brands that are the pieces are made like now, but they're made to look vintage? Like, I don't know, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like I'm on the fence about it because I'm like, I like it, but I feel like vintage is something you become.
Yeah.
And not start off as.
I think they need to start being real about it. Like, that's vintage inspired. Like, that ain't vintage. And I'm a vintage girly. This is actually a vintage piece that I thrifted. But I love vintage stuff. So that I actually like, that kind of grinds my gears a little bit. It's vintage inspired.
What this brand represent?
And
they have cool clothes. Like, I like their stuff.
Should I know that brand?
Huh?
Should I know that brand?
I don't know.
People always ask me stuff like that, and they're always surprised when I don't know because they think that I'm in fashion, so I should know. I should know things.
Represents man. I don't know. So they need stuff like this.
I tried my hand at thrifting, didn't go well. So
and it looks cool. And they really push for it to look like age. And I'm like, I feel like it should just be that over time. So now I have no story to tell.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like this because I've had it for the last 25 years. I bought it like this. Now it's gonna look worse.
I don't mind the treatments
this is the best,
like
worst
that.
it's going to look.
Yes. Yeah, then what happens 20 years down the line?
Pre-warning.
Yeah. Actually, oh God, who was doing that again? It was ridiculous. Oh God. I hate when I have brain farts like this. Yes.
I don't know.
And holes and thing. Was it Kanye?
Yes, Kanye. Like the cuts in the jerseys.
Oh gosh.
No, you lost me at anything.
But people bought it, so
made no sense to me.
The what?
I kind of dug them.
Made no sense.
Buying it.
Everybody loves a little extra ventilation. Living in the Caribbean and whatnot.
Man.
What I will say, I
And the
don't
holes are getting
like.
bigger and bigger over the years, and I'm like, bro,
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah,
saw
you
people
definitely need
hold
to give it
entire
away at some
you
point.
have no knee. Like, I'm seeing your whole knee.
Yeah.
You wear this pants whole day, you're gonna have a serious
It's
looking
all
tan.
about swag, guys. I don't know. To each his own. I don't like when people call stuff like that vintage. Um, but I don't like when people do that about anything. Like I feel like there's certain buzzwords that kind of fly around. So vintage is a buzzword. You have like you were saying sustainable.
Yeah.
That's like a huge buzzword right now.
Yeah.
Well, I would say like it kind of died down a little bit. But every, tanty and uncle was saying that their stuff is sustainable. That's not good enough. Like you can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
You need to say why.
Yeah. But I
What
also feel
about it?
like
What does that
sustainable.
mean? Yeah, because
Anything could be sustainable, right? Like even if I buy from the worst brand that in a sweatshop, whatever. If I hold on to this thing long enough, like I pass it down, is it not kind of
right.
doing the same thing?
I guess if you consider
I
it
guess the
from that
means of how it was
perspective,
made
yeah,
might have been a little bit worse.
yeah.
But
I
now,
think that's the thing about words like that. They could take on so many different meanings now. So I think you have to be real intentional about it.
yeah.
So if your intention when you're buying a piece of clothing, even if it's from the worst brand in the world,
Yeah.
I mean,
Because it
you
even
know what?
goes
No,
down
not
to
the
the
worst brand in the world,
it
but
even goes on to like the thread, right? Like
yeah,
you can have sustainable threads to sew, and I'm like,
yeah, ethically sourced things. I mean, that's something that I feel very strongly about, though. Like, pay people living wages, pay
yeah,
people fair wages. Like I don't mess around with that. That's not a vibe. Um, but in terms of I don't want it to seem like I don't also, put
Care about
sustainability on a high
sustainability,
horse
yeah.
because
yeah,
I do. But I feel like people abuse the word to the point where now you need to say exactly what it is. So is your brand sustainable because you are only producing 20 items at a time? So it's slow fashion.
hmm
Is your brand sustainable because the clothing is extremely well made?
Right.
So it's not gonna fall apart after you wash it 20 times. You're actually gonna be able to pass it on to your kid,
Yeah.
and like your grandkid could probably wear it too at some point. Is it sustainable because the fabric is made from natural materials and you use natural dyes? Like it could literally mean so many different things. So you really need to be very clear. So if you're gonna put vintage on that, you need to not say
I don't think this
vintage.
was.
You
I
need to.
did thrift this though.
I'm pointing at
No, I'm
your
just saying I did thrift
computer.
this. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, actually, they are quite nice.
Um,
I do like them.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you try getting me into the thrift thing.
there's nothing that fits him.
It-
Everything was too big for him.
I'm too small.
Yeah,
Just yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's probably the best bet.
Thrift might be
Tire,
a way.
tire back.
If you can't get stuff here, then try away.
Oh, okay. That's new.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Oh, I know.
like most of my favorite items of clothing are thrifted. Like people say that there's like 3 words that you have to identify your sense of style.
Okay.
I think it's kind of
Which
fun
are?
to like think of it. I think, well, one of mine for sure is, I would say,
Oh, well, then everybody should have 3 words to
Yeah.
identify yourself. Got
like
you.
your style. Like,
Got you.
it's not like a really a thing that people say, but it makes life easier when you're shopping and stuff. So
Okay.
you think about,
You know, already. You already have an idea of what direction you're
Yeah.
going in. Oh, okay.
So I like vintage is one of my things, or thrifted. So every outfit I wear, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm wearing is most likely thrifted
Right.
or vintage,
Mhm.
pre-loved,
Mm-hmm.
And like another word for me is bold. Like I like things that are like look at me, I look like a
Right.
box of crayons. So I like things that are like very blocky and very bright. Sometimes I like bold prints, bold colors, statement pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I,
think
I have to think about my
I've
favorite
just been going off it just need to fit. And then
No.
we could then go in a
No, think about your 3 words.
Okay.
Think about your 3 words. It makes shopping so much easier.
right.
I learned that on TikTok.
Mm.
So you know it's
So you're saying,
It's fact checked.
well, I was gonna say saying that the degree wasn't worth it then. You could have just gone on TikTok for like a week and learned everything.
wow.
Mom,
Um,
talk about university on YouTube, so you know.
Yes, it's true. There's so much information out there now.
Yeah.
Like I like I said, I'm a nerd and I enjoy being in a school environment. I like assignments and I like doing coursework and I like, having a teacher present information to me. I just learn better that way. Um, and I also just really wanted to formally learn about fashion.
Mm.
So I invested in that. It was an investment,
Yeah.
but I think use the resources that you have available to you. So
Yeah.
go on YouTube and learn your stuff. I still go on there and watch videos because you will never know everything,
Yeah.
TikTok is great. Of course, there's a lot of misinformation on there, but I've learned so much from being on TikTok, being on Instagram.
Yeah.
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 I was gonna mention earlier that when you're talking about consulting for people, I was gonna be like, it is nice to have somebody that helps you, I guess, put your ideas or your story into words that you can then now articulate.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's like I know
Talk
the
to me.
pictures that I want to take.
Let me be your brand parent.
It's like I know the pictures I want to take. I just don't know how to tell that story.
Mm.
And I feel like if I know that this is what I'm trying to say,
Mhm.
like if I could articulate that properly, then I could just go 100% and be like, okay, these are now the content like I'm going to make around that because I want to do like lighting videos and just being educational because
Okay.
one part of it is people come to the studio a lot
Mhm.
and I really just don't have the energy sometimes to be like,
And that's
I really don't want to get up. I want you to be like, yes,
I know
I
where
saw a video from this, boom, I know what to do. Jabari, you stay there. You do your work.
Yeah.
I don't need you. So one part is that, one next part is like, I feel like people, I don't want to say gatekeep,
Mm.
but they don't really help you out too much when it comes to lighting.
Right.
So I was just trying to be like, hey, Olin, this is what I do. If you want to follow it, cool. If you don't, I want to modify it and do something else.
Yeah.
This is the general idea of how these things work.
I think
I keep clicking to make it in a minute, and then that's why I'm always rushing for the last 10 seconds, and I'm like,
don't study it.
1 minute.
Wait, what is it? 3 minutes?
I know, but I always click 1 minute because I'm like, yeah, 1 minute is all I need. And then I get there, I'm like, oh, I'm at 45 seconds. I have 3 more things to say. Let's see if we can make this fit.
That is hard. That is hard.
So,
That's why it takes me hours sometimes to edit my
yeah.
reels.
Oh, I don't even rewatch them like that. I'm like,
I have to clip like the ends of what I'm saying.
yeah.
And sometimes.
Right.
So, that's
Maybe you should come to my webinar.
for sure.
But what I would say is also maybe something that you can investigate is like your brand strategy, like what your brand is all about. Start like investigating that. Like I said, everything will be so much easier after. And you, like, even as a photographer, you can have like you can split that into. You can split that as my brand as a photographer,
Mhm.
professional photographer, and me being a photographer, a creative and artist.
Mhm.
You can split it into if you want. That might make it easier for you to actually figure out what your brand is trying to say. It might be kind of hard because you're looking at it two together right now. So Jabari, the artist and creative, might be conflicting with what Jabari, the professional photographer, might want to create and share and post. And you could find a balance between the two.
Mhm.
But because you're already a creative and you already do photography and it's what you love, that part could just flow. figure out what you want professional Jabari to say. And I think it will be a lot easier for you. So when you're researching, if you could talk to ChatGPT, again, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm totally fine with people like doing things on their own too.
Mm-hmm.
Go and check it out with the brand strategy and think about it not from the perspective of a creative and an artist, but as a person that wants to provide a service and wants to share knowledge with people and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
and build a brand around that.
Mhm.
Then you just post your creative stuff and things that you love to do alongside it. It doesn't have to be connected. Yeah.
And that's why I invite people on the podcast, guys, to get free advice.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Sprinkle.
Yes.
What is your favorite article of clothing? I'm asking for a follow-up question after. Is it like dresses, skirts, pants, t-shirts, jackets, hoodies?
That's a real hard question. I would say it's a toss-up between, oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. Oh, I know what it is.
This is not one thing that you have to like, you're gonna wear for this and be like, this is like, it's
But I
just,
couldn't.
yeah, but, okay.
Me not by
Just,
itself, but
just like, what is it?
I love a good blazer.
Okay.
But like specifically a blazer with shoulder pads.
I don't want to say block looking blocky kind of
My shoulder pads.
No one's have you looking like,
square.
okay? Well, I see a struggling.
I love them. Like I really wanted to put shoulder pads in this, but my mom was like,
Okay. Yeah.
These look like they're built for it, no?
yes.
Ah.
Thank you. Yeah, I probably will put shoulder
Okay.
pads in. But I just find there's something like about the energy of wearing like a jacket and like the strong shoulders that makes you feel so confident. I always feel super confident when I'm wearing like a jacket and when I'm wearing a blazer. Can't talk to me.
Mhm.
Can't talk to me. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Where's the other that has shoulder pads? Well, boy, don't even.
Can't even put my thoughts to me.
But they come out, excuse me, who are you?
Yeah.
Showing these on?
Do you not recognize me by the shoulder pads? Yeah.
My question would be, I was gonna ask you what is your favorite article,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's basically gonna be like for somebody that is making blazers now,
Uh-huh.
how would you consult for them to be like, I guess you be your client here. How will you now, I guess, market that to the masses, or not the masses if you wanna make 20 blazers a year? All up to you.
Well, that's a loaded question.
Like, what would your blazer brand look like?
God. You know, I've actually thought about like starting my own brand at some point,
Mm.
and maybe it will happen one day. But I don't know how to sew, and I know that you can be
Yeah.
yes, totally by all means.
I was gonna say like a lot of designers
No, I
don't know how to sew.
know.
Virgil was an engineer.
Yeah. So I do think that there's like a unique point of view that I could offer because of the skill sets that I have and the way that I see the world. And I love fashion and maybe someday it will happen.
Mm.
So it's interesting that you asked me that question. But I have like imposter syndrome about that. And I wonder if it's because it's something that I really want to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm like, no, I've like really thought about it, you know, like, is it that all of what I'm doing now was like a roundabout way for me to get to that point?
Yeah.
No. So I'm just taking my time and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. But I I actually don't want to say too much about it because I have thought about it a lot.
Okay.
And it's very special.
Okay.
But it's what I would want to do with my brand because of everything that I love about fashion. I wouldn't want my brand to be 100% mine alone.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to like really just base it off of partnering with designers and an exchange of ideas and information. So I can't say more because
So this is more collaborative.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
I want to. It's probably sounded so weird, but I promise you, it's so good. Okay. I have a confession to make.
Okay. Laptop's
I
closed.
did the full brand identity already. I have the logo. For the palette, then I have everything done, and I'm just like, the thing is, I know it's gonna require so much to
Mhm.
get it to the place where I would like it to be. I'm just waiting for when, like, I know my energy is right and when I would have the capacity to be able to do it properly. But I was thinking about how I could leverage like all the information that I have and all the things that I love to do
Mhm.
to explore, designing clothes, but also helping other people. So, for example, an exchange of creativity, but also an exchange of knowledge and an exchange of ideas.
Right.
Because what better way to learn about something than to learn it in practice?
Mhm.
So that's the very vague gist of it.
Okay.
Maybe because I'm doing this, I'll feel more pressure.
Yeah. It's like, what about that brand? Yeah, talk about it.
Yeah.
It's out there already.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm the only one following it.
Well,
So if you want to do some investigating,
go
you
through her followers
take
and
like a
see.
little peek. I'll probably tell her if you want to know. I could tell her when,
Okay.
when the masses and everybody will find out in due time. Story.
Yeah. Do you have any hot takes? Any fashion hot takes?
I have some.
We just want one.
Okay.
Just to, I guess, wrap up. I feel like we learned a lot about you today.
Yes, I said a lot.
Yeah.
I literally was in the car outside about to come up here. I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to my partner on the phone. I was like, oh God, I really hope I don't ramble.
Yeah.
Because I talked a lot.
Yeah. Listen,
Well,
we appreciate it.
hot takes. God.
My
what
hot
to
take was the
choose
vintage
one?
thing.
Yeah, I have a couple. Um, okay, this one is good. And I experience it a lot with what I do as a consultant, but trends are not bad.
Mm.
Like a lot of I would say slow fashion designers try to stay away from trends,
Mm-hmm.
but my hot take is that you could and maybe should lean into them a little bit
Right.
if
Yeah.
you're trying to grow your brand. Like people think of trends, I think, as like, you know, like all these micro things that you see on TikTok all the time, and it doesn't really
Mhm.
last. But the way that I see it as somebody that does marketing and stuff is that it is literally free marketing.
Yeah.
Because everybody might be looking at something or looking for something, you strategically deciding to, let's say, in a collection of 5 items, do one trendy item or include some trends in your item.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could get a lot more buy-in and visibility. It's a great way to get new people to buy into the brand.
Right.
So trends are not bad. You just need to know how to use them. Maybe that was not as much of a hot take as I thought, but maybe the right people will get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It was
mean,
very anticlimactic.
it's up to you if you want to, if you think you have something more that's like nice to your neck. People might be up in arms about it.
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right
I
there.
will leave it there.
I didn't come on this to get canceled. The internet does not forget.
No, it's just, I feel like it's just things that like,
That you strongly believe
yeah.
that not everyone else may necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay,
strongly
just
believe.
It's
because
like one of my things is everybody should make a song before they die.
I love
Just to
that.
understand like what it takes to go into making a song.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going with that, like the reasoning why, but I love that.
No, but he will go to his grave for
What did you think it was?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like that?
Yes, you should.
Good. I love
Because
You
okay,
can't
it's
be like,
you complain about somebody's car and you walk in.
Mm,
You know?
yeah.
Learn to make a song so you know how hard it is. So when you're like, oh, that song really sucks. My song sucks too. You know?
This sounds very
Yeah.
personal.
This sounds like I can make it. So when you say that now, it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
My partner's a musician, so
Ah.
I intimately get where you're coming from with that.
Everybody should make a song before they die. And what was your reason that you thought I was gonna be?
Well, just from like seeing what he does and his process,
Yeah.
I really respect musicians a lot more because I myself could not understand like how music is made. And he produces things predominantly electronically,
Mm-hmm.
but even that is like so technical. But what I really, the reason why I agree with you and I think that people should do it is because it really, um, uh, like it's a very vulnerable process,
Yeah.
you know? And I could get into that, like creating anything. Actually, I would like to end on this note.
Okay.
The act of creation is a sacred process. Anybody who is an artist, who is a creative, is a very powerful person. It takes someone truly brave and something truly special to take something and people don't know what it is. It is a part of you,
Mhm.
something that is yours, a part of you that you are physically manifesting into something real and tangible. That is very powerful. And that's why connection is important. And that's why storytelling is important. And that's why I will die on that hill. Because I do believe that like being able to create is probably the greatest gift that one could be given.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Hmm.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Um,
Sorry, it was a lot.
a little while waiting, but
Yeah.
appreciated.
Work was working.
It's fine.
It
It's
was
fine.
working.
Yeah.
Thanks for still having me.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah, we're just like, Safia, we are not able with your shenanigans.
No, I was like,
Shenanigans somewhere else.
it was meant to happen today because of that shoot that got canceled, and then another one came up for today, and then it got canceled, and I was like,
wondering, you know, if
I
you
was
were
like,
gonna
I
be
remember
eating
you on your
Yeah.
phone with your boss, and he was like, so I could do my thing.
yeah, literally like within 10 to 15 minutes, he's like, this thing could move, and I was like, it could. I don't want it to, but it could. And then that got cancelled. And he's like, oh, we might have another shoot. And I was like, all right, no problem. I'll message him in a 5. Didn't message all in E5. He calls me back. Yeah, that might get pushed to Monday. And I'm like, oh, well, then it's a
Wonderful.
good thing I didn't message anybody then. I have everybody on edge. Okay, yes, we're on. But now we're not.
We off.
But now we're on. But now we're not. Actually,
Yeah.
still
Put
come.
respect on creatives. Put some respect on us, okay? It's not cool. Don't mess around with people's times. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's a separate point. That wasn't towards anybody.
No, I'm,
Well, not
I'm
yet.
just saying that people need to know.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. Time is money. So please respect people's time.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's Safia Ali.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.